What is up, guys? I'm Neal Jolly and welcome inside Jolly Studios, where we talk about everything cameras to sneakers. And today we're talking sneakers and a pair of sneakers that spells championships and celebrates trophies. We've got the Jordan 6 Retro DMPs. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the channel and checking out today's video. I'm so glad to see all of you guys here. And if you are new here to the channel, then the way these videos work is that I usually start with an unboxing of these sneakers and then chat a little bit about the history of the sneaker. So in this case, the Jordan 6 DMPs. And we are going to talk a little bit about the Defining Moments pack that dropped way back in 2006. Then we do a full in-depth review of the sneaker as it pertains to the materials on the sneaker, giving you guys an on-foot look as well. And then finally, my verdict on whether you should shoot, hold, or pass on your shot at these sneakers. And then at the end of the video, we're going to address the subject of this video, which is this the best Jordan Retro release of 2020 so far? So if you are new here, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the community here on this channel, as your subscriptions and hitting that like button does go a long way in helping this channel grow. And I so appreciate all of your love and support and really building this community with you guys. So I've got my commemorative Jordan tee with the iconic photo of him hugging the Larry O.B. trophy, his first championship, in celebration of the sneaker that we are going to talk about today. So without further ado, let's get straight into the unboxing. Coming in a standout black and gold box, the gold foil finish is an ode to the packaging the original DMP 6s came in as part of a pack with the 11s back in 2006 that was called the Defining Moments pack. Upon lifting the lid and resting inside white tissue paper with all over Unite Jumpman branding, we've got a second layer of standard white tissue paper as well, and then we've got the DMPs. And tagged on the left foot of the sneaker, we have a commemorative dog tag that is beautifully plated in gold with the following inscribed: Air Jordan 6, June 12th, 1991, defining moment, MJ's first professional championship. 6, and I'm not talking rings, I'm actually talking weeks, almost, that it took to get this pair here in my hands. And shipping's been a mess around the world, and pretty understandable with what is going on in the world. And of course, sneakers are not the priority, but man, I definitely had to wait on these sneakers, and I've got to say, now that I do have them in hand, these were definitely worth the wait. Released on April 18th of 2020, this is a sneaker I'm super excited to have in hand, and is super timely with everything going on with the Last Dance series that also dropped in celebration of Michael Jordan and his championship career. And so this is a commemorative sneaker celebrating his first championship in 1991. And so what makes the Jordan 6 so special is that this is the first sneaker that Michael Jordan won a championship in, the first of many to come, and the first that he also won a finals MVP in. So let's get into the in-depth review of the materials on the sneaker, starting from the front to the back and from the top to the bottom. When it comes to the toe paneling on this sneaker, you will notice that this is a very clean toe. And unlike the Jordan 5, Michael gave designer Tinker Hatfield specific orders to keep the toe clean, and so it's been reinforced with this thick rubber toe cap that's built into the midsole. And when it comes to the uppers on the sneaker, we've got this synthetic Durabuck feeling material, and honestly, it is really soft and smooth on touch. The black paneling on this sneaker is pretty solid, and so there isn't really any grain when you do rub your hand against this sneaker and its paneling. There really isn't any brush strokes that do show, and so this is a lot like the Bread 4s from 2013 that I do have, and these really are a dust magnet, and you will need a lint remover from every now and then to remove some of that lint and dust that these sneakers do pick up. Moving into the lacing system, we've got these flat black laces that are weaving through 7 eyelets along the sneaker, and then behind the laces we've got a black neoprene shoe tongue with perforated holes throughout the tongue. And then standard with all Jordan 6s, we've got Jumpman branding in this solid shiny neoprene material that's built into the shoe tongue, and it hides the laces and holds the tongue in place while wearing the sneaker. And then also standard to the Jordan 6 is the lace lock that you will find already coming out of box on the lacing system, and we've got a black lace face lock with a Jumpman printed in gold. And as we move to the top of the tongue, we've got this rubberized Air Jordan branding that is embossed directly into the rubber tongue. And then sliding over to the midfoot, it is practically identical on both the medial and lateral sides with these perforated holes throughout the paneling of the midfoot. And as we move towards the ankle molding, it's really nicely padded and feels really plush when given a squeeze. So these really do feel nice and supported on your ankle. And then moving to the back of the sneaker, we do have what is probably one of my favorite touches to the sneaker, which is the spoiler. And man, when I was a kid and I would look at the sneaker from afar, it was probably what really did identify the sneaker to me, because I remember being a kid and always getting the 6 and the Jordan 7 confused. But the spoiler is just so beautiful, and much like a lot of Jordans that are designed by the icon Tinker Hatfield, this was inspired by that sports car vibe. And you'll notice the spoiler is gold plated, and as we move further down on the heel, we see the number 23 plated and embossed into the heel with a Jumpman that is embroidered in black. However, this branding is a deviation from the original Jordan 6 OGs that Michael Jordan did wear on court that had Nike Air branding, but really since the year 2000, when the Jordan 6 was first retroed, is when they did make that deviation into having a Jumpman that is branded on the back. But in recent retros, we have seen the Nike Air return. Moving inside the sneaker, we've got this soft fabric lining in black, and then we've got an insole also in black with the Jumpman and the year 2020 printed in gold on the heel. Upon removing the insole, these are board lasted, which is true to the OG Jordan 6. And then moving to the bottom of the sneaker, we've got a polyurethane midsole, an encapsulated air unit on the forefoot, and a visible air unit on the heel. And from a look inside those visible air units, it is gold on the inside, and the units are surrounded by this blue icy sole paneling, and that paneling continues into the midsole all around both the lateral and the medial sides. And we've also got some really nice gold wavy paneling as well. And then we've got a standout rubber outsole with blue icy hits and a Jumpman in gold with dotted patterning throughout the icy and black rubber outsole. But now it's my favorite part of the video, where I finally get to throw these sneakers on feet, style them, and give you guys a closer look. Worn with some white socks, gray essential sweatpants, and a white Jordan branded tee with the iconic photo of Michael Jordan holding his first Larry O.B. trophy. The overall look is pretty monochromatic and allows for the gold accents to stand out. And in celebrating more championship history made, if you're from Toronto, you can throw on your city jacket with the gold trimmings to celebrate the current and defending 2018-2019 NBA champions, the Toronto Raptors. When it comes to sizing, these are advised to fit true to size, and I'd agree. I picked up a size 9.5 US, which is my standard size, and these fit perfectly on my feet. These Jordan 6 DMPs did release on April 18th, 2020 with a retail price of 200 USD, and for us here in Canada, 265 Canadian. And they did release on Nike sneakers, as well as a plethora of Jordan retailers that normally carry Jordan sneakers. And right away, within the first hour, I did notice that these sneakers were sold out, but eventually did get a restock on websites like Foot Locker and Finish Line a couple of days later in some limited sizing. I myself picked these sneakers up off of Nike Sneakers Canada, and at the time I was kind of wondering how I comfortably checked out with these, because I really do take a lot of L's on Nike Sneakers Canada, and this was my first dub and only dub of the year, so this all makes sense even with the restock on Foot Locker and even Finish Line. With seeing some pairs go back online, I think there was a delay in the shipping with the stock behind these sneakers, and so we have seen these sneakers show up on some online retailers a little after their initial date. But if you did miss out on this sneaker and are interested, these are now available on the resale market, and so I've left a direct link in the description box below for you to check these sneakers out and potentially pick up a pair for yourself. But now it's the part of the video where I make my case for whether you should shoot, hold, or pass on your shot at these sneakers, with shoot being picking these sneakers up at their current retail price, hold being being potentially waiting for these sneakers to go on sale or another opportunity to pick these sneakers up, and pass being that these sneakers might not be for me or for you, but for somebody else. And when it comes to the Jordan 6 Retro DMPs, I say you shoot your shot. If you are a fan of Michael Jordan, the player and the icon, and missed out on that 2006 Defining Moments pack, which did include this Air Jordan Retro 6 sneaker, then you know this is a must-have to add into your collection as a collector item and as a sneaker to rock, because personally I will be rocking this sneaker, and this sneaker does commemorate the first championship of Michael Jordan's career. And for me personally, I was too young to afford the Defining Moments pack at the time, and I remember sitting at a McDonald's, weirdly enough, and seeing a resale exchange happen right in front of me between a kid and somebody that owned the pack. And I always remember looking at that kid and being like, man, that kid's so lucky to have these in his hand. So I'm kind of living out my inner kid and my childhood dream of owning these sneakers, and so pretty excited, I'm not gonna lie. And additionally, another reason why I say you shoot your shot on these sneakers is, again, if you did miss out on those 2006 Jordan 6 Retro DMPs, these basically are almost an identical replica of that sneaker, and that usually isn't the case with retro sneakers, with the first retro usually being the best in quality and cut. And basically this is, like I said, almost an exact replica in terms of its quality, cut, and overall aesthetic. And so that brings us to the final question and the subject of this video. And addressing the question, is this the best Jordan retro release of 2020 so far? And to be honest, if this sneaker showed up on time a couple of weeks ago before I finally got my hands on this sneaker right here, I would have probably given it to the Jordan 6 DMPs. But having the Jordan 5 Fire Reds in my hand, man, it's really tough between both, but I have to give it to the Fire Reds. I just feel like the Jordan brand knocked it so far out of the park if you watch the review on these sneakers, as this is a sneaker Michael Jordan actually wore on court in this exact colorway, and this is arguably the best retro release of this sneaker since the year 2000. However, notice that the subject and question of this video is whether this is the best Jordan release of 2020 and not necessarily the best Jordan sneaker of 2020. And honestly, if the Jordan brand gave us the Jordan 11s as part of a 2-pack, again, the Defining Moments 2020 pack, this would have been the best Jordan retro release in my opinion, with honorable mentions of course to the New Beginnings pack, which obviously was really exclusive and hard to get and in limited quantity. So this would have been, in my opinion, the best Jordan release of 2020. And I've got my 2018 Jordan retro Concords in hand, and so for now this 2-pack will have to do. But eventually I have to assume that the Jordan brand will re-release or re-retro those Jordan 11 DMPs, and man, it would be awesome if they did that this year, and maybe a holiday drop, who knows, or next year to commemorate the 15-year anniversary of the original DMPs. So who knows, that might be the case, but for now these two will have to do. But now I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the Jordan 6 DMPs, and do you expect the Jordan 11 DMPs to drop later this year? And is this the best Jordan retro release in your opinion of 2020 so far? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'd love to connect with you guys there. Give this video a like if you enjoyed today's review, and if you really liked it, I hope that you will subscribe and join the community here on this channel, because we've got a lot more sneaker videos that are on the way. But that's all from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, for your time and support of this channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.